In this video, we'll be talking about lines. In Google Drawings, at the top in your main core tools menu, you have your line. Lines can be used for a variety of things. Right? To create your line, you just select the line, click, and then drag. So these can be used to divide up your page, to make a grid. If you used your rulers, you could make a grid. Right? Lines can be changed, so if you wanted to change the color of a line to one of your custom colors, you can also change the thickness of your line. So I'm going to make this line pretty thick so that you can see it. You can also change the dash of your line. So if you wanted your line to be a different texture, you could look at those as well, depending on what the line's function is. All right, but I'll just leave it standard for now. You can also add ends to your line. So if you wanted this to actually be a fun little arrow, right, you could add ends and you can change what is what. So if you wanted it to be pointing in a different direction, you could do that as well. Right. Within the line menu, right, which is this little select line drop down. So when I hover over line, we have line, but we also have other lines. So you could go straight to arrow, right? We also have our elbow connector and our curved connector. An elbow connector will connect two objects using 90-degree angle turns. All right, you can see this one's kind of crazy because of how thick the line was. All right, and they're really easy to delete if you do anything that you don't want to do. All right, so that's the elbow connector, and then we also have the curve connector, so you can see it'll connect the text boxes together. So you just drag the ends, and then you can actually manipulate the curve by pulling on this little yellow diamond. And you can also change the ends of these lines as well. So if we were trying to connect ideas, for example, right, make this a little thicker, we could take our line and say, okay, well, we go from here to here, and now it's an arrow, right? And it connects the two boxes together, right? You'll notice that when we make this connection, there's a little purple guide that helps us. Right, and again, these can be deleted. So those are your connectors, right? And they can be used to connect text boxes, shapes, things like that. We also have our curve and our polyline tools. These tools actually let us create our own custom shapes. So with the curve tool, it has rounded edges, and with the polyline tool, it has more jagged edges. And you'll notice that when I bring the ends back together, it actually creates a shape that I would be able to fill and change, the outline of and things like that, depending on, again, what my purpose for that shape was. This could also be used to trace things. So if you're trying to replicate a very specific shape, you could also trace that object using one of the either curve or polyline tools. And then your scribble tool is just for drawing scribbles. All right, you can change the color of it, but you cannot fill a scribble. And if you do anything that you don't want, again, you can turn your cursor or your mouse back to the select option up here at the top, and then you can simply delete anything that you no longer need. So those are lines in Google Drawings.